But we have watched for the last 5 years a corruption of the American judicial system. They were arrogant, they were overweening, they were self-righteous. They kept bragging when they, in the case of James or Willis, as political animals, they kept, we're going to do this, we're going to get Trump. And then these forces in the universe said, this is wrong, and we're going to correct it. And what do we find out now?
That's Victor Davis Hanson calmly torching the arrogant prosecutors who thought they could take down Trump, only to find themselves neck deep in scandal and hypocrisy. Because as he points out, pride goes before a fall, and these people are falling hard. Welcome to Nerk News, I'm Nerkish, and while establishment media continues to pretend the politically motivated cases against Trump were rock solid, Victor Davis Hanson just laid out a brutal truth. The cases didn't just unravel, they imploded. From Jack Smith's sketchy favors to Fanny Willis's courtroom soap opera, the very people who swore no one is above the law seem to be getting smacked down by cosmic justice. Here's Hanson breaking down the collapsing credibility of Jack Smith and Fanny Willis.
Jack Smith, the federal prosecutor, before he left his tenure, he went to the Covington law firm. That's Eric Holder's law firm, by the way. And he asked and received $140,000 of free legal services. Did he pay taxes on that? That's above the gift tax. I don't know. But if any of you decide that you're going to get a gift of either services or materials or cash for $140 and you don't pay taxes, you're in big trouble. Fanny Willis, well, she was removed from the case, as you know, with her paramour that she did not disclose, Nathan Wade, whom she made her lead prosecutor. They went on junkets. They didn't record their expenses. Half of them, perhaps, came from Nathan Wade's wages that were inflated by Fanny Willis. She wouldn't turn over subpoenaed records. The court forced her to pay a fine of $54,000. They took her, as I said, off the case. Now she's facing an investigative inquiry by the Georgia legislature. She's in big trouble.
You know, for all the media hype, these cases were run by clowns pretending to be kings. They weren't chosen because they were the best legal minds. They're political hacks elevated for optics like race, gender, and narrative, not for competence, which is indicative of the left's entire backwards agenda. And now, one by one, they're imploding. Here's Hanson going after the queen of these losers and the biggest loudmouth, Leticia James.
And then we get to Leticia James. She was the most confident, kept giving us soapbox lectures about no one is above the law. It turns out that for years, she was fudging on her real estate investments in an illegal fashion. But because Nemesis is always deals in irony, some of the forms that she exaggerated on or lied about were the same things that she alleged that Donald Trump had done on his forms. But it's clearly that Donald Trump had a much better case so far that he didn't do that. She said that an apartment unit had fewer rooms than it did. She said that her principal residence was in Virginia, when in fact she was the New York district attorney by statute. She must live in New York those 5 years. The house that she purchased, she's not living in now, property. She listed her father as her husband. What am I getting at? She's committing the same type of fraud that she's alleging Donald Trump did. I'll just finish with, remember Stacey Abrams? She was the one that denied she lost the 2018 gubernatorial race. She lost it by 50,000 votes. She lost it again to Mr. Kemp in 2022 by even more. A greater margin. She had a PAC or some kind of nonprofit. It had $100 in it. Then suddenly, when Biden's on his way out of office, over almost $2 billion go under her direction. And now we're learning that she was giving millions of dollars away, bought a beautiful home, and suddenly went from bankruptcy and owing the IRS and not paying her taxes in 2016. She's a millionaire. That's going to be invested.
You know, it's hilarious how James gave endless lectures about no one being above the law, while she was lying on real estate forums, listing her dad as her husband, and breaking residency requirements. She accused Trump of fraud while allegedly committing the exact same kind. And don't forget Stacey Abrams, who denied her own loss, went from bankrupt to millionaire, and magically raised billions through a PAC. It's all the same story. They projected their own corruption onto Trump, and now it's catching up with them. Because they weren't the best, they were just the loudest. But let me know what you think. Why have all of these cases backfired so spectacularly? Let me know in the comments, and if you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and subscribe to the channel. That stuff really does help us out. Until then, this has been Nerk News. Thanks for watching. Bye.